You feel it almost instantly. You walk into a room. You meet someone new. Everything feels normal at first. Then something shifts. They look at you a little longer. They listen a little deeper. They notice things you did not say out loud. And suddenly, you feel seen. Not just noticed. Seen. And for many people, that feeling is uncomfortable. It feels like standing in bright light with nowhere to hide. This is the strange effect INFJs have on others. Quiet, calm, gentle, but somehow intense. In this video, we are going to explore exactly why people feel exposed around INFJs. If you have ever felt this way around someone, or if you are an INFJ yourself, this will explain everything. 1. INFJs notice what others miss. INFJs are highly observant, but not in an obvious way. It is quiet, almost invisible. You may not even realize it is happening. They are not staring. They are not analyzing loudly. They are not trying to make you feel watched. They simply take everything in, like a calm lens. Always open, always receiving. Your tone, not just what you say, but how you say it. Your pauses, the small gaps between your words. Those moments where something almost comes out, but does not. Your body language, the way your shoulders shift, the way your hands move, the way you lean forward or pull back, the way your eyes move when you talk, where you look, what you avoid, how long you hold eye contact, and when you break it. Most people focus on words. They hear sentences. They process information. But INFJs focus on what is underneath. They listen between the lines. They feel the emotional layer beneath the surface. They notice the hesitation before you answer. That brief pause. That tiny flicker of doubt. They notice when your smile does not reach your eyes. When it looks right, but feels off. They notice contradictions. When your words say one thing, but your energy says another. When your story feels slightly different each time. And they remember them. Not to judge. Not to use against you. But because patterns matter to them. Details matter to them. And over time, these small observations build a deeper picture. A more honest picture. This creates a powerful effect. Because when they respond, they are not responding to your words alone. They are responding to everything beneath them. Everything unspoken. Everything subtle. They respond to the real you. Not the version you are trying to present. Not the polished version. Not the practiced version. But the quiet truth underneath. And that can feel exposing. Because even when you think you are blending in, they still see you clearly. 2. They read emotional energy effortlessly. INFJs have strong emotional intuition. It is not something they learned overnight. It feels natural to them. Like breathing. Like noticing light in a room. They can sense what someone is feeling without being told. Before any words are spoken. Before any explanation is given. They feel the shift. Even when you try to hide it. Even when you smile. Even when you say you are fine. Even when you think you are doing a good job pretending. They feel it. The tension. The tightness beneath your calm voice. The sadness. Even when it is buried under humor. The insecurity. Hidden behind confidence. They pick up on emotional signals quickly. But softly. Without making a scene. It is not something they try to do. They are not searching for it. They are not forcing it. It just happens naturally. Like tuning into a quiet frequency. Others might miss it, but they hear it clearly. And because of this, they often respond to how you feel. Not just what you say. They may comfort you when you did not ask for comfort. They may slow down when they sense pressure. They may look at you with understanding. Before you explain anything. And when someone senses your emotions so clearly, it can feel like your inner world is no longer private. Like a door you thought was closed, is slightly open. And someone gently noticed. Not pushing. Not forcing. Just aware. And that awareness can feel intense. Because emotions are personal. They are layered. And when someone sees through those layers so easily, it can feel like you are standing without a shield. Even if nothing was said out loud. 3. They listen without interrupting. Most people listen to respond. They wait for their turn. They think about what they will say next. Even while you are still talking. But INFJs listen to understand. fully, patiently. They give you space. Real space. Not just silence, but attention. They let you finish. Even if it takes time. Even if you pause. Even if you struggle to find the right words. They stay present. Completely. No distractions. No checking their phone. No looking around the room. Just you. No rushing. No pressure to speed up. And that level of attention is rare. So rare that it can feel unfamiliar. At first, it feels comforting. You feel heard. You feel valued. You feel like your words matter. But then something else happens. When someone truly listens, you start to reveal more. Without planning to. Without forcing it. You begin to open layers. One thought leads to another. One feeling connects to something deeper. You say things you did not plan to say. Things you had not even fully formed in your mind. You go deeper without realizing it. Because the space allows it. Because the silence invites it. And suddenly, you pause. You reflect. And you realize. You have shared more than you intended. More than you usually do. More than you thought you would. That is when the feeling of exposure begins. Not because you were pushed. But because you were allowed. And sometimes, being truly heard is more revealing than being questioned. For, they ask the right questions. INFJs do not ask random questions. They are not interested in surface curiosity. They are interested in meaning. They ask questions with intention. Questions that make you pause. Questions that slow you down. Questions that invite reflection. Not quick answers, but honest ones. They ask questions that go beneath the surface. Below small talk. Below routine conversation. They might ask something simple. Something that sounds ordinary. But it lands differently. It lingers. Why did that affect you so much? Not just what happened, but why it mattered. What do you really want? Not what you think you should want. Not what others expect, but what feels true to you. Do you feel fulfilled? Not busy, not successful, but fulfilled. These questions bypass small talk. They move past the usual scripts. They do not stay in safe territory. They go straight to the core. Gently, but directly. And when you are not used to that, it feels intense. Because these are not questions you answer automatically. They require honesty. They require awareness. They require you to look inward. And sometimes, that is not comfortable. Because the answers are not always clear, or easy, or convenient. And yet, INFJs ask them calmly, without pressure, without judgment. And that calm presence makes it easier to answer, even when the answer feels exposing. 5. They reflect your true self back to you. INFJs have a mirror-like quality. They reflect what they see, but not in a loud way, not in a confrontational way. They do it gently, calmly, with care. They observe first. They understand patterns. Then they speak, not to criticize, but to clarify. They might say something like, "It seems like you are holding something back." A simple sentence, but it touches something deeper. Or, "You sound tired, not just physically, not just about sleep, but something heavier, something emotional." These reflections are often accurate, not perfect, but close enough to feel real. Sometimes uncomfortably accurate, because they point to things you may have avoided, or ignored, or not fully understood yet. And when someone describes you better than you describe yourself, it creates a shift, a quiet realization. You pause. You think. You feel something settle inside you, because it resonates, even if you were not ready for it. And in that moment, it can feel like your mask is slipping, not being ripped away, not being forced off, but slowly, gently, falling. And what remains is something more honest, something more real. And that can feel exposing, but also strangely relieving. 6. They are hard to read themselves. Here is the paradox. INFJs understand others deeply, almost effortlessly, but they do not reveal themselves easily. They are private, not distant, not cold, just selective. They share in layers. Slowly, over time, they stay calm, composed, reserved, even when they feel deeply inside. They do not always show it. So while you feel exposed, they remain a mystery. You try to read them, but there is little to hold on to. They listen more than they speak. They observe more than they reveal. They respond thoughtfully, but do not always explain themselves. This creates an imbalance. A quiet one. You feel seen, clearly, deeply, but you cannot see them the same way. Not fully. Not yet. And that can feel unsettling. Because most interactions feel equal. Give and take. Back and forth. But with INFJs, it can feel one-sided. Even if it is not intentional. You may wonder, what are they thinking? What are they feeling? Do they see me clearly? The answer is often yes. And that is where the tension comes from. You are open. They are calm. You are revealed. They are still. And in that contrast, the feeling of exposure grows. Not because they are hiding something, but because they are holding themselves quietly. And that quietness can feel deeper than words. 7. They value authenticity. INFJs are drawn to realness. They are not interested in superficial conversations. They can tolerate it for a short time, but they always move toward depth. They want honesty. They want truth. And when you sense that, you feel pressure. Pressure to be real. Pressure to drop the act. Even if no words are spoken. This silent expectation can make people uncomfortable. 8. They notice inconsistencies. INFJs are pattern seekers. They connect dots quickly. If your words do not match your actions, they notice. If your story changes, they notice. If your energy shifts, they notice. They may not call it out immediately, but they are aware. And when someone sees through inconsistencies, it can feel like you are being quietly analyzed, even if they are not judging you. 9. They create emotional safety. This may sound surprising, but feeling safe can also make people feel exposed. INFJs create a calm environment. No judgment. No pressure. No rush. And in that space, people open up. Naturally. Without force. Without realizing it. They share deeper thoughts. Hidden fears. Unspoken truths. And afterward, they think, why did I say all that? That is the INFJ effect. 10. They are comfortable with silence. Silence makes many people uncomfortable. They rush to fill it. INFJs do not. They sit with it. They allow it. And in silence, thoughts become louder. Emotions rise to the surface. You become more aware of yourself. And that awareness can feel exposing, especially if you are not used to it. 11. They see potential and truth at the same time. INFJs see who you are, but they also see who you could be. They see your strengths, your patterns, your blind spots. They hold both images at once. And sometimes, they speak from that vision. You could do so much more than this. You are capable of deeper things. These words can feel inspiring, but also confronting, because they touch on truths you may be avoiding. 12. They connect on a soul level. INFJs seek deep connection, not surface-level interaction. They want meaning. They want understanding. They want to connect beyond roles and appearances. And when they do, it feels intense. It feels rare. It feels real. But it also feels exposing, because there is nowhere to hide in that kind of connection. No masks. No filters. Just you. And that can be both beautiful and uncomfortable. Now here is something important to understand. INFJs are not trying to expose anyone. They are not trying to make people uncomfortable. They are simply being themselves. Their depth is natural. Their perception is natural. Their presence invites honesty. And not everyone is ready for that. If you have ever felt exposed around an INFJ, it does not mean something is wrong. It simply means you were seen. And being seen is powerful. But it also requires courage. Because once you are seen, you cannot pretend in the same way again. If you are an INFJ watching this, you may have noticed this pattern in your life. People opening up quickly. People feeling nervous around you. People saying, I do not know why I told you that. This is not your fault. This is your nature. But it is important to be mindful. Not everyone is ready for depth. Not everyone wants to be seen so clearly. Sometimes, people need time, and space, and gentleness, to feel comfortable with that level of awareness. And if you are someone who feels exposed around INFJs, take a moment to reflect. What exactly feels uncomfortable? Is it being judged? Or is it being understood? Because those are very different things. INFJs rarely judge, but they do understand. And sometimes, understanding feels more intense than judgment, because it touches something real, something honest, something you may not even fully see yourself. In a world full of noise, INFJs bring clarity. In a world full of surface, they bring depth. And depth changes everything. It reveals, it uncovers, it transforms. That is why people feel exposed around INFJs. Not because INFJs are trying to expose them, but because truth naturally reveals itself in their presence. If this resonated with you, take it as an invitation, not to hide, but to understand yourself more deeply. Because being seen is not something to fear, it is something to grow from. And sometimes, the people who make us feel exposed are the same people who help us become real. Stay calm, stay aware, stay true.